Good morning, students. Today we are going to start the next chapter of class 9, that is force and law of motion. In force and law of motion, first topic that we have to know about the Newton's first law. Force and law of motion. About the force you have learned in chapter 1. Again I am giving you the definition of force. First write the heading, that is force and laws of motion. In that, first thing that you have to learn about force. What do you mean by force? Force we can say an external effort applied on a body which changes the state of motion. An external effort that changes the motion of rest or motion, state of motion, that is rest or motion of a body, is known as force. In the junior classes you have learned about push or pull. Force can be applied in the form of push or in the form of pull. Now in this chapter, first we have to learn about the first law of motion. In order to learn about the first law of motion, you have to first know what is the unit of force. Unit of force we can say it is Newton, denoted by N. And what Newton? N, right? And what is it is SI unit. It is SI unit. What is CGS? CGS is dyne. Dyne, not that dyne. We can say 1 Newton is equal to 10 to the power 5 dyne. This is the relationship between Newton and dyne. Now second thing that we have to learn about, actually in this chapter we have to learn about laws of motion. In this chapter we have to learn about laws of motion. In that we have to learn about first topic, that is inertia. First topic, that is inertia. What is inertia? In this chapter we have to learn about the inertia. What is inertia? Inability. Inertia is the inability of a body to change its state of rest or motion. Means according to inertia, if a body is in rest, then it will try to be in rest, and if a body is in motion, it will try to be in motion. This is inertia. Suppose that I am standing, I am in rest, I will try to be in rest. Second, if I am in motion, every time I will try to be in motion. So how many types of inertias are there? We can say inertia. First is inertia of rest. Second is inertia of motion. And third one is inertia of direction. Let me provide you some of the examples, then you can able to know about what is the difference between inertia of rest, what is the difference between inertia of rest, motion or direction. First example of inertia of rest. I am trying to give the example of wrist motion or direction with the same single example so that you can able to understand. First thing, what is first thing? First you have to copy up to here. Pause the video and copy up to here. Now, first thing that we have to learn, that is, suppose that we are moving in a bus. All you used to take a ride a bus. Suppose that we are moving in a bus. First phase, you are sitting in your school bus, and suddenly bus starts moving. You are sitting in a bus, but suddenly it starts moving. What happens? You used to fall in the backward direction. Why used to fall in the backward direction? You used to fall in the backward direction because suppose that it is a bus and you are sitting in a bus. On account of rest, you want to be in rest, bus starts moving, but on account of inertia of rest, you will try to be in rest, but your lower part, especially the legs, are in contact with the bus. So along with the bus, leg will go in the forward direction, you will fall in the backward direction. Same example with motion. When suppose that a bus is moving, along with that you are also moving. A bus is moving, along with that you are also moving. And you, for your kind information, you must know that the velocity of the bus will be equal to the velocity of the body. That means if you are sitting in a bus and bus is moving with 50 km per hour, then your velocity will be also 50 km per hour. And suddenly both you are moving and suddenly bus stops. But on account your velocity, that time when the bus applied the brakes and stops, your velocity is 50 km per hour. On account of inertia of motion, you will try to be in motion. You will try to be in motion. Bus stops. You will try to be in motion and you will fall in the forward direction. Now what about the direction? Suppose that a bus is moving and you are moving in the direction. Suppose that I am moving toward you, and suddenly bus take the turn, right or left turn, but on account of inertia of direction, I will continue to go toward you, because see, bus is going in forward direction, I am also going in forward direction, but after some time bus took the sharp turn, but on account of inertia I will continue to move toward you. This is known as inertia of direction. Many more examples are there, that all things we will learn in first law of motion, because Newton's first law of motion is also known as law of inertia. In that one you will read in detail. Suppose that after that we have to learn about Newton's first law. Newton's first law of motion. Newton's first law of motion, or you can say law of inertia. Law of inertia. What do you mean by law of inertia or Newton's first law of motion? According to Newton's first law of motion, a body in rest continue to be in rest, continue to be in rest, and a body in motion continue to be in motion unless acted upon an external force. Means if external force will be not applied, a body will be in rest. Suppose, give example. Marker is in rest. Just now marker is in rest. It will try to continue to be in rest unless an external force, unless we will put an external force from outside, it will continue to be in rest. This board is in rest. It will always try to be in rest unless we are applying any force in this board. So if we will apply the force, then definition of the force. What is the definition of the force? Force is external effort applied on a body to change the state of rest. So when we are applying a force, external force on a body, but the force must be external. When we are providing the external force on a body, then it will change the state of rest or motion. So according to Newton's first law or law of inertia, a body in rest will continue to be in rest and a body in motion will continue to be in motion unless an external force acted upon it. It is known as Newton's first law of motion. In day-to-day life, we have seen that our satellites are moving under the gravity of the earth. See, satellites are moving, they are in motion under the gravity of the earth. But an external force will apply. If any other planet come near to the satellite, then they will try to attack the satellite. Until that time, they used to continue in that motion. So what we have learned today? Today we have learned, let a quick review. First we have learned about the force. What do you mean by force? An external effort applied on a body to change the state of rest of motion is known as force. Second thing we have learned about the unit of force, that is Newton. Because all this law, Newton's first law and other law, was given by a scientist known as Sir Isaac Newton. So a unit of force is Newton. It is a SI unit, CGS unit is dyne, and 1 Newton is equal to 10 to the power 5 dyne. After that we have learned about the inertia, inability of the body to change the state of rest or motion. There are 3 kinds of inertia: inertia of rest, inertia of motion, inertia of direction. After that we have learned about the Newton's first law. What is Newton's first law? Revise with me. A body in rest continue to be in rest. A body in motion continue to be in motion unless acted upon the external force, unless we are providing the external force. This is sufficient for today. Next video I will provide you the lecture for Newton's second law of motion and different applications related to the Newton's second law. But just like that, we have learned the first law. Before that we have to learn about the inertia. For Newton's second law, you will need momentum. First we will learn about the momentum. After that, with the help of momentum, we will derive the Newton's second law of motion, because Newton's second law is also known as law of momentum. Be at home. Thank you.